Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is May 2nd, 2021. Feels like I haven't done a video in like forever, but I just been really busy with work and everything else, so I found time today to put out a video for you guys. I want to talk about the rigged baseball games today. We gave out 6 picks today, and we gave out 7, and we hit 5 out of 7. So not a bad day in baseball. Let's take a look at some of the. I actually put all the games down on the blog, so we gave out 7 games. We looked at the Mariners game. We also looked at the Kansas City Royals game, the Atlanta Braves, the Marlins, the Yankees, and the Mets. This was a crazy game, but I knew the Mets was going to become 5-7 away because that's a big number with the Mets. Mets is 57. New York Mets is 57. The only thing I was worried about this game was today was the day with 48 numerology. The Mets could have fell to 4-8, but the 57 is always stronger with the Mets. But let's start here. So the Mariners, notice they became 8-6 at home. And they did it against the Los Angeles Angels, which equals 86 in gematria. And notice Seattle Washington also equals 86. They became 8-6 at home. The Twins, they improved to 5-8 at home. And the Royals fell to 8-5 away. Twins equals 85, right? And 58 is the reflection of 85. Now, this game here, this was a tricky game because the Blue Jays, their next home game is against the Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia is 65. So, I was worried about them becoming 6-5 at home. And then, be 6-5 while they play Philadelphia. But instead, what they did was the Braves became 5-9 away. Because Toronto Blue Jays is 59. So it was actually the opposite. But this was a shaky game. It could have went either way. What I'm going to start doing is, with these shaky games like this, I'm just going to eliminate them. I know a lot of you ask me to decode these games, and that's why sometimes I look at them, but I think it's best to just stay away from these games. The Marlins, what was the riddle with this? I think Miami Marlins is 85 and the Nationals became 8-5 at home. Yeah, so Miami Marlins equals 85. And that's the record. That's the home record of the Nationals after winning the game. So not a bad day today. We only got, I think, 1 pick wrong. And we got 1 pick wrong yesterday. So we've been right there with the perfect days. But I always tell people you don't have to parlay all these picks. This pick here, the Yankees, this was actually made by John Vincent. So he left a comment saying the Yankees could become 7-7 at home. And 77 is a big number with New York. That was a big number with September 11th. And of course the Yankees, they began the season 9-11. Right, this is the team that won the World Series right before the terrorist attacks. Because when you write out September 11th, there's something 77. It was Flight 77 that hit the 77-foot tower. On September 11th. So 77. The Yankees become 7-7. And notice what else is 77? Yankee Stadium, where the game was played at. The last game of the day was this game here. The Phillies versus the Mets. And like I said, the only thing I was worried about was the 48-day numerology. But that 57 in Mets, it's money. And there was a lot of chances in this game to make a lot of money because at one point the Mets was down by 2 runs. So, and the line opened up very low. This was I think it was even. It opened up even, but the Mets went down 2 runs, and it was actually in the top of the 8th. And the closer it is to the end game, the higher the line is. So if you would have live bet the Mets in the top of the 8th inning when they was down by 2 runs, you could have made a whole bunch of money in this game. Because 57, it rarely does it miss with the Mets. Very rarely. yesterday we looked at the Kentucky Derby. There was a lot of different possibilities. I didn't want to make a pick because there wasn't really nothing concrete when I was looking at it before the race started, right? But they gave it to Medina Spirits. Notice it sums to 187 and 79, the Jesuit numbers. And of course, I think the guy won. I think the owner of that horse, he won his 7th race, just like how Tom Brady won his 7th championship this year. I think his name is Bob Baffert or something like that. I'm not a real big fan of horse racing. Yeah, Baffert. He won his 7th Kentucky Derby. And, funny because Tom Brady was at the race. So, yeah, Bob Baffert. He won his 7th Kentucky Derby. And, of course, this year has been all about the number 7. So, yeah, we was looking at Super Stock because Super Stock had the 147 connection. And this was Kentucky Derby 147. I was also looking at, there was another horse that I was looking at. So it was like 3 horses that I said, these 3 horses could possibly win. Super Stock was one of them. Obviously, the 7 with Medina Spirit was in play. And this race was on May 1st, which is the Illuminati's birthday. And Known Agenda also has that 188, like Bavarian Illuminati. But there was another horse that I think, well, actually, I know what it was. The jockey. This guy here, Julian, he had the 201 in his name. And I saw always a big number with the Jesuits, 201. So I said, they might give it to the jockey with the 201 connection. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it was actually helium. So it was helium, Medina Spirit, Super Stock, and Known Agenda. Those were the 4 horses I was looking at. So, but they gave it to Mr. Baffert, and he won his 7th. Let's look on Patreon. Yesterday, we actually gave out. We didn't give out some bad picks yesterday. May 1st, we had the Panthers. They became 17-9 away against the Chicago Blackhawks. Blackhawks is 179. The one game we got wrong was this game here, the St. Louis Blues. And you know what's funny about this game? The Blues was up 2 goals in the 3rd period, and they still lost the game. But we got the Panthers correct, and we got the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights became 14-5 all time versus the Coyotes, and when you write out Golden Knights, it sums to 145. But you see in the comment section, and look, somebody says they won $2,000 today. So shout out to Trey. He made $2,000 today with the picks. Because we did pretty good today. We just got a couple, like 1 wrong. But John Vincent was the one that made the Yankees observation. He said Yankees can improve to 7-7 at home. And they're playing in Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium is 77. He also had the Nationals like I did. So yeah. What was it with the Nationals? I think they became 8-5 at home. They became 8-5 versus Miami Marlins. So this was another moneymaker here. And it became 12-12 because the next game is against the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves is 37-12 prime. Those are the observations John Vincent made. So we got some good people on the comment section. And yeah, holla at your boys. Another a good decoder. He wrote Baffert wins the Derby. And he wrote that Kyle Busch, he won the NASCAR race today. And the NASCAR race was named Bushy McBushy. And they gave it to Kyle Busch. And he cashed in on it. So, you read the comments, you read my notes. There's no way you shouldn't be making any money. Because there's a lot of intelligent people on my Patreon. And I like to keep it that way. I like to get the trolls out of there and just, the comment section is really for people to make observations. Like how these people are doing. Not to be trolling. You're the GOAT. Just won $2,000. $2,000 in one day. Jesus Christ. So let's see if tomorrow we have some good games tomorrow. A lot of low lines. That's what I mean by good games. You see how it's 121, 111. These are games where you can make some money on. Even. I hate when the line be like negative 360, negative 280. It's like you can't even make any money even if you pick that team. The hockey season is almost over, so this is a good time to make some money in hockey. You see the Lightning today? The odds for the Lightning was like at negative 360. But I think there's going to be a lot more hockey games tomorrow on May 3rd. But the hockey season is coming to an end, so I'm going to look over all these games, and I'll definitely put out the best picks for that game, for the hockey games. Some people asking me to code more games, so that's what I'm doing. I usually just put out 1 or 2 picks, but people asking me to, put out more picks because we could just straight bet all of them. And then on days like today, we only get 1 wrong. Then, 7 picks, you only get 1 wrong. You hit 7 tickets. Let me see. What was it with the hockey game today? What was the score? Hey, you see what I mean? Tampa was at negative 300. That's a nasty line. And they only won by 1 goal. So you probably could have took Detroit with the points. This was definitely the better pick here. So yeah, so Peter says he won $800 today. He's up 1.8 of the work. See, so shout out to Peter. He says people need to wake up. He says he's gonna buy my book tomorrow. I appreciate that. Thank you. Camille says he just joined the Patreon. Well, welcome. Hopefully, you can make some money as well. Somebody said that I haven't done NBA in a while. The Lakers haven't covered in the NBA because there's so many other sports to make some money into it that. It's just the NBA. You're dealing with the spreads. It's just I like doing the NBA when it's playoff time. That way we can bet on the series and make some money there. But looks like the Lakers are getting crushed though, down by 15. Yeah, I hate dealing with spreads. And the NBA is full of spreads. Baseball, hockey, there's no spread. And those are the leagues that we make the most money in. How you doing, Kathy? Long time. So I'll leave a link in the comment section. Anybody interested? We hit 6 out of 7 today. Yesterday we hit 2 out of 3. We're getting way better than baseball. Baseball, it started off a little bumpy though. I'm not gonna lie. Baseball is tricky in the beginning of the season, but once you get to the middle of the season. Once you get like 20, 30 games in, it's a piece of cake. Yeah, the Dodgers, wow, 16-4. They became 9-7 on 2/5. Yeah, so let's see, because I haven't done a video in a while. So let's see if anything else that I should be talking about. Yeah, this actress passed away recently. You can visit my blog. She died on the 121st day of the year, and she's remembered for the movie Moonstruck. Moonstruck is 121, like blood sacrifice. Not too familiar with her. She's an older lady. She died at the age of 89, so. You notice they put out this article at 6:02, like 62, sacrifice 62. Sacrificing an 89-year-old. I mean, these people are something else. Yeah, Mr. LeBron James came back after his fake injury. He came back 41 days after his fake injury, and King is 41. Like how they won almost every series last year, 4 games to 1. The year that Kobe Bryant died at 41. And remember, he got injured on the 79th day of the year, and LeBron Ramon James is 79. And last year in the playoffs, It was all about the number 79 because the final started on the day with 79 numerology. The Miami Heat, the team that equals 79, competed against the Lakers last year. It was also the 42nd day of his age, his return. And LeBron James 42 like Lakers. And notice from his return to the NBA Finals is 69 days. The NBA Finals is 69. He comes back 69 days before the finals. And of course, this actor, Chris Clayton, he was shot recently. I have to check up his update to see how he's doing. I didn't see much with him. But definitely another ritual. He got shot 213 days after his birthday. This baseball player, he was a San Francisco Giant prospect. He died at the age of 25. And of course, Giants is 25, Death is 25, RIP is 25. He has that 54 in his name, a big baseball number, right? Baseball's 54 like MLB. And he was born January 23rd. He died 87 days after his birthday. I really notice it here. And Dominican Republic is 87. This was a Dominican prospect. See, born in Dominican Republic, died in Dominican Republic, 87 days after his birthday. R.I.P. to him. And this was a big upset. I actually made a separate video for this. Look at the line on this one. The Mets. They were plus 216 versus the Boston Red Sox. Actually, the Red Sox upset the Mets. So the Mets were the favorite in this game because they had Mr. Jacob deGrom pitching for the Mets. That's their ace. And the big riddle here was the 64 because not only did the Mets fall to 6-4 at home, Boston Red Sox is 64, but I learned the day that I did the video that there was actually 64 hitters in the game as well. And also, the game even started at 6:40 p.m. So a massive 64 ritual in that game. And it was also 64 degrees, which I don't think is a coincidence because I know these people control the weather. And this is not the first time we've seen this because remember in the Super Bowl, supposedly it was 73 degrees the day that Tom Brady became 7-3 in Super Bowls. So I know they do manipulate the weather. So it's obviously they're doing it to correspond with the sports game, which is sick. And then Mr. deGrom became 2-2 for the season versus Boston. So yeah, and the Mayweather fight is coming up on June 6th. 66 days after Logan Paul's birthday on 6/6 at the Hard Rock Stadium, which equals 66. So this should be an interesting fight. 102 days after Floyd Mayweather's birthday, the number stamped on black people, niggers, 102, slavery. Floyd is 44 years old right now. This is definitely an interesting fight. No doubt Floyd will probably be the favorite, but all these 66ers surrounding Logan Paul, I won't be surprised if there's an upset. Because 66, the date is 66, 66 days after his birthday, the number of the beast is 66. Somebody who's 50-0 is fighting somebody who is 0-1. I mean, what's the point of this fight? Of course. It's not even a contest, but it's a 26-year-old versus a 44-year-old. So I'll leave it there. If anything breaks, I'll definitely come back and make another video. It's been a slow week, thank God, Actually, I like it when I don't have to make videos about people dying. It's actually a good thing. Actually, I take that back because it says here that 3 died and almost 20 are hospitalized after a suspected smuggling vessel overturns off San Diego. Oh, my goodness. 320. Isn't that the number that we saw with George Floyd? He got killed next to the vehicle, 320. The police cruiser. 2 high school students were killed in a car crash on their way to the prom. It's a lot of sick shit going on. Oh, look, another NASCAR driver dies at the age of 42 on the day of the race. Oh, my goodness. So, this stuff just never stops. And, of course, his name sums to 56 and 187 like the Society of Jesus. 42. And of course, Jesuit is 42, right? Says here, former stocks car driver Eric McClure has died at age 42, NASCAR announced Sunday. The Washington County, Virginia Sheriff Department confirmed Mr. McClure's death to CNN. Emergency personnel were called to McClure's home Sunday morning when they found his body. His body was sent to Virginia Department of Forensic Science in Roanoke for an autopsy. Washington County Sheriff Blake Andis told CNN. No cause of death has been provided, and McClure was active on social media as recently as Saturday. Of course, he raced for 14 years because the word dead is 14. And he dies on the day of the race in a big Jesuit ritual. So rest in peace to him. I'll definitely document him. So check out my blog if you want to learn more about Mr. Eric McClure. But thanks everybody for joining us. And I'll be back whenever there's something to cover. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody.